Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. So moving on, we are now discussing the last part of the mubtada and the khabar. And what we're discussing is that the mubtada and the khabar can be removed. So hazful mubtada'i wal khabar. So he's mentioning here first of all, وقد يحذف كل من المبتدأ والخبر. You can remove the mubtada and the khabar, not the same sentence. The mubtada of one sentence and the khabar of another sentence. If you remove the khabar in the same sentence, you will have a sentence. Yes? No? So you have to remove the mubtada of one sentence and the khabar of another sentence. Yes? Because you can't write in the exam, this is my answer, mubtada, khabar, both mahzuf. Because, so the mubtada, for example here, in this one verse, we have one sentence with the mubtada is mahzuf and another sentence with the khabar is mahzuf. So salamun, full stop. Qawmun munkarun. So really, salamun is mubtada. How can the mubtada be nakira in salamun? Huh? It's a dua, very good, it's a dua. So salamun ay salamun alaykum, peace be upon you. Sentence number one. And sentence number two, antum qawmun munkarun, you are a people who we are not familiar with. So now, in this first sentence was mahzuf, which is the khabar. And in qawmun munkarun was mahzuf, antum, which is mubtada. Understood? So you can remove the mubtada and you can remove the khabar. It is possible to remove both, not the same sentence, but the mubtada and the khabar. Understood? Yes? You got it? وَيَجِبُ وَيَجِبُ حَذْفُ الْخَبَرِ. In certain cases, you have to remove the khabar. In certain cases, what do you have to do? You have to remove the khabar. One such case is the jawab of lawla. What does lawla mean? Law, if not. So we say here, had it not been. So for example, لولا أنتم لكنا مؤمنين. So لولا is a harfu shart. What's لولا? Harfu shart. What is it? Harfu shart. Okay. Now, obviously it's going to have a jawab. So the harfu shart, the jumla to shart is this. And the jawabu shart is what? This. So the day of Qiyamah, they will lament each other. Yes, they will lament each other. And you say, لَوْلَا أَنْتُمْ, had it not been for you, it's your fault we didn't bring Imam. You deceived us, you tricked us. Had it not been for you, لَكُنَّا مُؤْمِنِينَ, we would have been what? Believers. Now, what's أنتم becoming here in the sentence? Is it jumla ismiya, jumla khabriya, لَوْلَا أَنْتُم? Jumla ismiya. What's the mubtada? أنتم. Where's the khabar? Mahdhuf. It's mahdhuf. Because remember, if the khabar is something that's so obvious, like mawjudun, the Arabs don't like using the word mawjudun or mustaqirrun or istaqarra. So if the khabar is something that is obvious, meaning existence, it shows wujud, it shows existence, then what do? They remove it. So for example, if you say anta fil bayt, what does that mean? Where's R come from? أنت موجود في البيت. Forget موجود. It's so obvious. Forget it. Why don't waste your time saying موجود for?
So it's not the reality.
Yeah. And في البيت because متعلق is a ظرف مستقر of the موجود.
So it's not what that is khabar. It's not exactly supposed to be that. It's just because you're translating the.
We translate is, so they don't have the hidden is. Even for example, أنت قائم. So that you أنت something قائم. They don't use those general terms of linking. So in here, what's mahzuf in antum? After antum, the khabar is mawjudun. So antum mubtada. Sorry, this is the mubtada, and the khabar is what? Mawjudun. That's mahzuf. So had you not been present, had it not been for you,
No, what is lakunna?
we would have been mu'minin.
No, in Turkey.
Then his jawab. This whole thing becomes the jawab al-qasam. Jawab al-shart, sorry.
Okay.
Here, harf jawab al-shart.
Okay.
And the jawab al-shart is jumla ismiya kana, ism kana, mu'min khabar. But here, after lawla, what do you remove? The khabar of? You remove the khabar of lawla. Understand what we're saying here? So before the jawab of lawla. So lawla is the jawab. Before that was mahdhuf, the khabar of the jumla ismiya. Are you following? Muhammad? Everybody online? However, if it's not like it's not in I don't know if it's in the book or not. If it's not a general statement, what is it? It's not like a mawjood or something specific. Then you mention it. So, for example, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, "Lawla qawmuka, qawmuki, lanaqaztu al-Ka'ba, faja'altu laha babayn." Had it not been for your people, I would have broken down, deconstructed the Kaaba and reconstructed it with 2 doors. That's how it was before. But then they didn't have enough money, etc., so they reconstructed it. So you usually have 2 doors. You can enter from one and leave from one. The Prophet said, had it not been for your people. But does it mean, had it not been that your people were existing, or had your people not been this? So now, hadithun, what's hadithun mean? Opposite of qadim. What's qadim mean? Old. Hadithun means new. This is new. Ahduhum is a fa'il of hadithun. Ahdu also means promise, because you're supposed to you forget your promises. Are you supposed to forget your promises?
No.
You remember them. So ahd means familiarity, connection, link. So ahduhum had their link. Bikufrin, with disbelief. Meaning the Quraysh just brought Islam. So now, imagine when he just conquers Makkah, and straight away he destroys the Kaaba, rebuilds it. It's like, oh, too much change at one time. You get what I'm saying? Just slowly. So here the Prophet didn't mean, لَوْلَا قَوْمُكِ مَوْجُودُونَ.
I don't know what it means. New link with disbelief.
Yeah, so they just became, you just left, or they just, yeah, the meaning is, they just left Kufr. And they just became believers. Not the Muhajirun, but those who are just converting Makkah. So when the Prophet said, لَوْلَا قَوْمُكِ, did he mean, had your people not been existent? Or had your people not been this? Not been this. So in this example, so is hadithu ahdihi bi kufr like mawjudun, or one of those very general words, or the specific term? Specific term. So then it's not wajibul hazf, it's not yajibu hazful khabari here. Do you understand? So let's say, for example, you say, لولا أنت لأطلت الدرس. Okay? Had it not been for you, I would have made the lesson longer. Had it not been. But it's not because of, if I didn't want you in the class, I'm saying here, لولا أنت مريض. Not موجود, I mean مريض. But I mean it's mahdhuf, or I mention it? Because it's not a general word. Do you understand now? So if the word is general, if I said, I don't like you, if you were in the class, I would have taught more. Had you not been in the class, I would have taught longer, but you were in the class, I don't like you, for example.
Does it mean general, or people understand it?
It's a general, because you easily understand it without any context. When it's not there, you're automatically saying, okay, mawjoodun. And if it's, or do you guess maridun?
But does it depend on what someone else would say, or if you were to say
Just on its own, that sentence on its own. If the mawjoodun, it means had you not been there, then you would have to, it's wajibul halq, but here you have to mention it. So you have to remove the khabar of lawla's mubtada if it's mawjoodun. You never have lawla anta mawjoodun. If it's something else which is not mawjood, or existing, or present, then you have to mention that word. Do you understand?
What is mawjood mean?
Existing, to be. Yeah? Okay? Another place is, if you have a jawabul qasam. And jawabul qasam, not wow, like wallahi. When you have wallahi, the tarkib of this is different. Some say wow is qasam, jar majrur become muta'alliq to the uqsimu mahzuf. Not this. If you use a noun for a qasam, what do you use for qasam? A noun. For example, you say qasami. What do you say? Qasami. Or you use the word amrun. So the word amrun is always used for qasam. Like, I swear by your life. Yes? That's the way, again, what it means and how it's used in Quran discussion. So if you have a qasam sarih, and qasam sarih means that word is always used for qasam, nothing else. So if you have a word always used for qasam, then the khabar of that qasam is mahdhuf. So for example, what's the qasam in here? What's the qasam in this sentence? This is qasam. And this is jawabul qasam. Qasaman? Is the qasam فعلية اسمية? What's the qasam? فعلية اسمية. اسمية. What's عمرك? It's a mubtada. What's the khabar? محذوف. خبر محذوف. Why? Because the word amrun is a word when it's used like this, it's always a qasam. It's qasam sarih. So no point saying la amruka qasami. Because you know la amruka is, when you say la amruka, it automatically means qasam. So the word saying the word qasam. By your life is my qasam. You say by your life. Yes? What does it mean, the tafsir, the verses? Can you take qasam like this? This is all Quran stuff. I'm just explaining the nahwa to you right here. You do it tafsir inshallah later on. But the rule is, if you have a qasam in a jumla ismiya, what do we have? You have a qasam in a jumla ismiya, and the mubtada is a word which can only be qasam. There's no point mentioning qasami as a khabar. So you have to remove the jawab, you have to remove the khabar of the qasam. Are you following, Umar? Yes? You following Muhammad? Abdullah Abdurrahman? Okay, this is what he's saying here. وَيَجِبُ حَذْفُ الْخَبَرِ قَبْلَ جَوَابَيْ. The two jawabs. i.e. the jawab of lawla, that's one jawab. And the jawab of what? Qasm sarih. So before the jawab of lawla and before the jawab of qasam, the jumla ismiya before it, the khabar of that is going to be what? Mahdhuf. So the jawab of lawla, so the lawla sentence will have a mubtada and the khabar is mahdhuf. The qasam and the jumla ismiya, and the mubtada is a word which is only used for qasam. Then that jawab is also going to be what? Mahdhuf.
What does shibih mean?
It's only used for qasam. That word is only used for qasam, nothing else. That mubtada in that structure is only used for qasam. Have you understood? Yes? Any questions so far? Okay. The next place where we remove the khabar is when you have before a hal which cannot be the khabar. Okay? Everybody so far following you? New sentence?
Yes.
Look, forget this. Forget the text. Darbi Zaydan qa'iman. Darbi Zaydan qa'iman. Derby and not Leicester or Nottingham. No, look at my job. Job's to try for you. Derby, city, Derby. Oh yeah, no, my job's to try. So Darbi Zaydan qa'iman. Me hitting Zayd. What's Darb? Darb is going to be what? Masdar. Ya becomes the fa'il of the masdar. Yes? And Zaydan becomes the maf'ulun bihi, and qa'iman becomes the hal. This is the whole sentence. What does this mean? Don't worry about Turkey. What does it mean? Darbi Zaydan qa'iman.
I hate you standing.
I hate Zayd standing. But the Turkey of it. This becomes what?
It could be hal of Zaydan.
Mubtada, where's the khabar? Well, what's the khabar? So we say here, this is mubtada, me hitting Zayd. This becomes the mubtada.
Including.
So now we say here, before the hal, which cannot become the khabar, we will say here, the khabar is mahdhuf. I.e., me hitting Zayd occurred. Me hitting Zayd occurred when I was standing or he was standing.
So it's hal to the mahdhuf.
It's hal to the mahdhuf, yes. Okay? So Darbi Zaydan qa'iman. Me hitting Zayd occurred when he was standing. Now, let me give you a more. What does it mean, really? Me hitting Zayd occurred when he was standing. This is what it's supposed to be. Darbi Zaydan hasilun if kana qa'iman. Hasilun is mawjoodun, occurred, existed, come into existence, happened, took place. Yes? Hasilun took place. So me hitting Zayd occurred when he was standing. Now, this hal can't become the khabar. You don't really need all of this piece of information. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay? Let's do another example. I read when I was sitting. What were you saying? I read this book when I was sitting. No, أنت فعلي جنائسية. قراءتي هذا الكتاب مفعول به بالمصدر. قراءتي هذا الكتاب sitting. جالسا. So me reading this book, I read this book when I was sitting basically. But then what do you say here? The khabar is حاصل. Me reading this book took place إذ كنت جالسا, when I was sitting. You understand? Now why is it very important? It comes in the hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says in the hadith, أقرب ما يكون العبد من ربه وهو ساجد فأكثر الدعاء. Don't look at Turkey, translate it. What does this mean? أقرب, the closest العبد من ربه. The closest a servant can be to his Lord is when? When he is in sajda. فأكثر الدعاء. So therefore in sajda, what should you do? Make more dua. Yes? The Turkey way now. أقرب is اسم تفضيل. ما يكون العبد من ربه is the مضاف إليه of the أقرب. وهو ساجد is what? No? How can you have a khabar of before it? It's a hal. This hal, can it be khabar? It is al-hal al-mumtani' kawnuha khabaran. A hal, mumtani', impossible, not permissible. A hal whose being khabar is not possible. So then you will say here, there's a khabar mahdoof here. أي أقرب ما يكون العبد من ربه حاصل إذ هو ساجد. The closest a person can be to his Lord, حاصل, occurs when he is in sujood. You understand? So if you have a mubtada and you have mostly a mubtada with a kind of a verbal meaning, fa'il, maf'ul, sifat mushabbahat, mutafdhil, that kind of meaning. Yes? And then you have a hal after it. That hal can take the place of the khabar. The hal sadda masad al-khabari. The hal kind of takes the place of the meaning. So you don't need hasilun id huwa. You can just say this hal, it gives you the meaning of the khabar. So therefore you remove the khabar. Understood? So what's the answer? So the text is, it is necessary to remove the khabar before a hal whose being khabar is not possible, which cannot become a khabar basically.
You can say a hal which cannot become khabar.
Yes. So a hal which cannot become a khabar. If you have a situation like this, then what do you do then? What do you do? The khabar becomes mahdhuf. Okay? The next example we have is if we have wawul musahaba. So sometimes, like for example, it's up to you. It's between him and his Lord. Between him and his dad. Okay. Yes? It's between? We say what? It's between you and your Lord. It's between you and your brother. That kind of meaning. So what we would do then, in that case, we would say, the wow, you would have to do what? You would have to remove the khabar. So for example, if I said, for example, you said, I want to learn a book by heart. I said, Anta wa sha'naka. Anta wa sha'nuka, sorry. You and your actions, up to you too. It's up to you. He said, me Abdul Rahman are going to Qatr on the weekend. So Anta wa huwa. So Anta wa huwa Makrunan, you two are together, you two are up to you two, you two are left to do what you want. Anta wa sha'nuk. So I'm not coming anymore. Anta wa sha'nuk, up to you.
What is musahaba?
So, musahaba, companionship. So if you have a wow, which clearly expresses the meaning of they came together, meaning that you know that the khabar means makrunan. The two of these are linked together. Yes? They're together. And not, they're together, just be together.
Two people are coming.
It can be more, it's normally two. So if you have a wow between a mubtada and it's ma'tuf alayhi ma'tuf, there's a wow in between. And that wow shows, denotes or implies that those two are together and they can carry on as they want. Anta wa sha'nu, up to you. Anta wa abu, you and your father, then you guys decide. Yes? So let's say for example we say, I'm going to study more books. Anta wa sha'nuk. Anta wa sha'nuka matrukan. I'm going to leave you and your decision to yourself. Yes? We're going for a bike ride, for a 100-mile bike ride. I say, Anta wa sha'nu. You and your bike ride, you to me, you know, I don't want to do this, we don't tell you about it. I'm not coming 100-mile bike ride. Anta wa sha'nu. That's up to you. Anta wa bike ride, you can stick to your bike ride and leave me alone. Don't involve me in this. Yes? You get it? So when you have a mubtada and a khabar, what do you have? A mubtada and a khabar. Between them you have a waw al-atf. But that waw means along with. And you automatically know that it's up to you two alone, don't involve me, like that. Then the khabar is mahdud, the khabar is maqrunan. Maqrunan joined together. So you and your action are joined together, not me, I'm not involved in that.
After a while, which was companionship.
Which was companionship. So the whole text is what? It is necessary to remove the khabar after a waw which shows companionship. Okay? And he... No, musahab means companionship, but sarihah means explicitly. Okay? And then he gave here all the examples that we did before. لَوْلَا أَنْتُمْ لَكُنَّا مُؤْمِنِينَ. Had it not been for you, we would have been believers. We did that before, yes? وَلَوْلَا أَنْتُمْ لَكُنَّا مُؤْمِنِينَ. We also done وَلَأَمْرُكَ لَأَفْعَلَنَّ. لَأَمْرُكَ is what? Qasam, sarih. After that is mahdhuf. لَأَمْرُكَ قَسَمِي وَدَرْبِي زَيْدًا قَائِمًا. So now, وَدَرْبِي زَيْدًا حَاصِلٌ إِذْ هُوَ قَائِمًا. And then كُلُّ رَجُلٍ وَضَيْعَتُهُ. ضَيْعَتُهُ means his job. كُلُّ رَجُلٍ وَضَيْعَتُهُ, the khabar is mahdhuf. Every man and his job. Every man is up to his job. Leave every man to his job. Yes? كُلُّ طَالِبٍ وَكُتُبَهُ. Leave every student to him and his books. كُلُّ طَالِبٍ وَعِلْمُهُ. Leave every student to the science that he likes. أي مقرونا. Every student and the science that he likes is to him. كُلُّ سَائِقٍ وَسَيَّارَتُهُ. Leave every driver and his car, let him deal with it, don't get involved in that. Do you understand? So in these cases the khabar is mahdhuf. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdihi, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka.